Welcome to Lecture 17 of Origins of Art. In this lecture, we'll continue our examination of art behavior in recent hunter-gatherer groups, focusing on portable and parietal art. The article assigned for this lecture describes some of the ritual practices of an Aboriginal band that lived in the Little Sandy Desert in Western Australia, near Jigalong. The Jigalong people practice two main types of ritual. The first is called Mangujanu, which translates as from the ancestral beings. The people believe that these rituals date all the way back to the period when the world was created, which they refer to as the dreaming or dream time. The other type of ritual they practiced is called Badunjari Janu, which means from the dream spirits. These are rituals of recent origin, based on the experiences that men have while they're dreaming. Along with many Aboriginal peoples of Australia, the Jigalong believed that their dream spirit left their body while they were sleeping, and that dreams were the experiences that this dream spirit had as it traveled about. A Badunjari Janu ritual originates when a man witnesses or experiences a significant happening in a dream, usually involving ancestral heroes or a totemic ancestor. When the man tells his group members about this dream, one of them may use it as a theme for a song. Once this theme is established, other men report their dreams. The group discusses these dreams and uses the information from them to compose more songs for the series based on this theme. In some cases, men describe in detail the dances, decorated objects, and/or beings that they have seen in their dreams, and these are incorporated into the ritual as well. Badunjari Janu rituals are short-lived. They're performed now and then for a period of 2 to 3 years, until a new songline based on another dream experience has been composed locally or adopted from elsewhere. At that point, the old songs and dances are discarded, the carved figures are hidden away, and the ritual is eventually forgotten. The set of songs used in these rituals is called a songline. A songline is a series of songs based on a single theme. It may be the work of only 1 or 2 men, but usually over a dozen contribute. The songs, as well as the objects and dances associated with the ritual, are created exclusively by men. These activities, as well as the decoration of the performers, are conducted away from camp, out of sight of the women and children. However, everyone participates in the ritual itself, which is performed in or near camp. Both men and women sing the songs, with the women and children sitting in a semicircle behind the men. As the men sing and dance, the women sing and keep time by beating their laps. A complete dream spirit ritual lasts 5 to 12 nights, but they're often performed for 2 to 4 nights at a time. A songline and its associated dances and objects reference a myth related to the songline's theme. For example, the carved and engraved human figures described by the authors represent Ngajunagagu and Mudinga spirit people, both of which have stories associated with them. Ngajunagagu spirit beings are cannibals who resemble human beings in appearance and size, but have long curving fingernails to catch and hold their victims, and long teeth with which they tear the flesh from their victims' bodies. They are immortal and continually increasing in numbers, and live in their own world underneath Lake Disappointment. The younger ones aren't considered dangerous, but the older ones are feared because they're always searching for human victims. One myth tells how these spirit beings sent 2 of their people to visit a rainmaker and asked him to return with them to witness a ceremony. The man was suspicious and refused, so they tried again. This time 4 spirit people visited him. 2 transformed themselves into wallabies, and the other 2 convinced the man to go hunting. When the man clubbed one of the wallabies, the 2 disguised as men turned themselves into butcher birds and carried the man off to their camp, where he was eaten. These spirit beings later decided that they would kill and eat any Aborigine who came near their territory. For this reason, Aborigines avoid the area. The Ngajunagagu spirits are the theme of a series of songs and dances that the authors witnessed during their fieldwork. These rituals involve the carved figures described in the article. One songline, known as the Winba songline, was composed in 1962 by 10 men and has over 120 verses. Winba is the name of an important rainmaking site and rainmaking ancestor spirit who lives there, and the theme of the songline was rain and phenomena associated with it, such as clouds, thunder, and lightning. 2 sets of myths are associated with this ritual, the stories of the Ngajunagagu and the stories of Wadi Gujara. Both groups are totemic ancestors. Many people at Jigalong claim to be descended from one or the other. The Wadi Gujara, which means the 2 men, are believed to have been the very first men. During the dream time, they traveled all over the western desert in their anthropomorphic lizard man form. The carved figures represent the Ngajunagagu. The designs engraved on them reference the myths associated with these spirit beings, as well as the Wadi Gujara. The designs also reference rain, clouds, thunder, and lightning. The figures are about 30 inches high and are placed upright at one end of the ceremonial ground during the ritual, where they are illuminated by the light of the dance fires. This calls to mind the cave paintings of Upper Paleolithic Europe, and the cinematic effects that the flicker of lamp and torchlight had on the images. The figurine illustrated in Figure 2AB is one of the objects used in the Winbo ritual. Both images show the same figurine. Figure A shows what the designs on the figurine look like, and in Figure B the designs are numbered so the authors can explain what they refer to. The numbers are hard to see in the slide, but you can see them in the PDF of the article if you zoom in a bit. The main thing to notice is that the designs reference various aspects of the myths, such as the butcher birds, number 5, the club used to hunt the wallaby, number 9, and the two men, number 11. The figures also reference rain through the boomerang image, number 10, which also symbolizes rain clouds, and also the zigzag line, number 12, which references lightning. The rain theme is significant. In the western desert, water is scarce, and life depends on the little amount of rain that falls. Without water, there are no plants or game, and the people can't survive. So this theme has to do with subsistence and survival. The figure also appears to model how the participant's body should be painted for this ritual. This is suggested by designs 1 through 4, which represent facial painting in red and yellow ochre, as well as designs 19 and 20, which represent designs painted in charcoal on the legs and arms. Unfortunately, the meaning of these designs is unknown. Figure 4, described later in the article, references the same myths. The authors also describe some objects from another site in the region called Worawajin. The objects from this site feature representations of the Mudinga, spirit people about 3 feet tall who live in a group of caves and hollow trees near the banks of the Okover River. These spirit beings are capable of flight, and the Aborigines believe that the trails made by meteors as they fall through the sky mark the paths taken by the Mudinga on their travels. Like humans, the Mudinga are married and have children. They're normally friendly, but may harm or even kill humans when they're annoyed or in a bad mood. The object shown in the slide, 6EF, is a love charm made of a flat oval stick about 10 inches high, with a representation of a Mudinga woman on it. The owner of this object believed that by chanting a special song, he could attract the woman of his choice. The idea behind this is that when a Mudinga spirit hears this song, it travels to the woman and sings it into her ear as she sleeps. If this is done persistently, the woman will eventually fall in love with the man. The theme of this object is very different from that of Figure 2. The theme here is mating and reproduction. The purpose is different as well, with the figures being used to bring good luck in the realm of romance. This is a different use of apotropaic art than we've seen so far. The authors also discuss some of the parietal art in the region. Plate 2 shows a drawing of a cave painting in Jaluguru Gorge, near Lake Disappointment. Like the songlines, these paintings reference myths from the Dreamtime, and are often associated with sacred sites and or the performance of rituals. This particular painting is associated with the stories of the Wadi Gujara, or the two men. Specifically, it references the part of the myth where the two men are hunting dingoes with clubs at Debil Spring. Later in the story, these clubs get transformed into snakes. The two men then travel to Jirajuwada Spring to hunt kangaroo. While the men are drinking from the spring, their mother captures them and takes them to the sky, where they're transformed into stars. These stars can be seen at dawn in the eastern sky during the late winter months. The letters on the drawing of Plate 2 indicate features that reference this myth. The squiggly line, A, represents one of the snakes created from the clubs of the Wadi Gujara. Lizard B represents the two men's uncle, while lizards C and D represent the Wadi Gujara themselves, in their anthropomorphic lizard man form. Figures E and F probably represent crescent-shaped clouds associated with the Wadi Gujara. So what do these examples of portable and parietal art tell us about early human art? I've highlighted this slide in yellow because this is the review slide for this lecture. These are the things to pay attention to. First, we once again see examples of apotropaic art, in this case, portable objects and songs used as love charms. We also see that so-called geometric forms, such as zigzag or squiggly lines, are symbolic and perhaps even figurative. We also see art being used in the context of ritual, in this case, dream spirit rituals, and we see that this ritual is a multimedia experience involving song, dance, portable art objects, and body decoration. Interestingly, this ritual also involved the use of firelight to enhance the effect of the art objects. We also saw that these art objects and performances are interrelated. Specifically, they reference the same myths and themes, two of which are subsistence and mating. These works also give us some information about hunter-gatherer artists. The song lines and their associated dances and objects were typically collaborative works, often made by 10 men or more. This concludes Lecture 17. In the next lecture, we'll look at music and dance.